Well, good evening, everybody. I'm AWSC meteorologist Josh Gimbel here to kind of just talk to you guys a little bit more about some of the severe weather that we've been having the past couple of hours or so. A couple of my colleagues have actually been informing you guys throughout the day, and so I'm pretty much here to help you guys out through the evening hours, at least for the next, I'd say, several hour, at least hour or so. Talk to you guys more about what's going on. So it's been a very active, pretty much last 36 hours to even 48 hours with a lot of storms, basically, um, hitting through Nebraska and Iowa yesterday. And today, kind of the same story, but instead of Nebraska and Iowa, we now have storms pretty much going through Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. And as you look at this radar here, you can easily see, I mean, this line of storms are pretty much going all the way up into Canada and stretching all the way down here from Canada down to the Oklahoma area and even into Texas. These storms have been just absolutely, it's been a huge, massive system that's been kind of slowly but surely pushing their way eastward here. And it's part of the big flow. And I was just looking at some data from the flow of the air up in the atmosphere. And pretty much it's been all these storms have been following that flow that in essence a jet stream. It's just been going upwards straight northeast and again very slowly moving to the east. And so that's why we've been having storms pretty much from Nebraska and Iowa yesterday. And now it's kind of pushed eastward. And again, the big story was definitely Oklahoma in the last several hours or so. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a bigger picture of what's going on because I mean this is very extensive line, and again the flow of this has been pretty much northeast, and I'll kind of give you put it in motion here, but you can see that air just kind of flowing northeast and along this air boundary that's been going on. So that explains a lot about what's been going on the last couple of days. So I wanted to give you kind of that big picture, but we're gonna focus mainly on some of the smaller areas now, and particularly, and let me go ahead and kind of put it back on our normal reflectivity. We're going to first start in Oklahoma, just because it's been the big story throughout the day. Is pretty much Oklahoma's been under the gun all day long. We do have several different severe thunderstorm warnings around the area, but one lone tornado warning here, basically in it expires in 1 minute, so there's not much going on. It is radar indicated. Pretty much hail was about 1.5 inches of hail here. So let's kind of take a look at this. Again, it's about ready to expire, but tornado warning remains in effect for southern Grady County. It's about ready to expire. At 8:37 p.m. Central Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 5 miles east of Rush Springs, moving northeast at about 60 mile an hour. So again, half dollar size hail could be the hazards with this storm, and again, it's all radar indicated. So really, nothing that has been indicated by actual spotted tornado. And as you can see now, that tornado warning has expired. But there is a severe thunderstorm warning tacked onto that, and right now that's again for that hail, and of course also the winds are at least 60 mile an hour or more. So definitely some damaging winds, and that's moving again northeast. So you can kind of see a little bit as that's moving there. And again, it would make sense why we had a tornado warning a little bit, because you can kind of see a little bit of that curving there, kind of spinning there a little bit. Let's kind of go to our velocities and check out to see if they'll reissue that. There it is right there a little bit here, folks. The kind of the little bit of where that rotation is right along in this area here. So really, that's kind of why they issued that tornado warning. So we'll kind of have to see if they reissue that. Right now, they have a severe thunderstorm warning going on, but again, that's kind of what that is. It looks like they just popped up a huge, extensive severe thunderstorm warning for that area there. Then again, all these storms are moving northeast about 50 to 60 mile an hour. So that's kind of where you're getting those. Why you're getting those warnings there. A lot of it's hail and and everything. So here's kind of the latest scan. You kind of see this notch here, and again that gives us our indication of there could be some rotation there. And so I wouldn't be surprised. Let's take a look at this again. Put it in motion a little bit. see how it was. So you can kind of see a little bit of that. It looks like it disappears and it's kind of regenerating a little bit here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, and maybe perhaps a little bit of reissue if this organizes a little bit better. Maybe a reissue of that tornado warning for this area here. Look like pretty much just southeast of Chickasaw here. And again, they're moving around 60 mile an hour. So that was where your lone tornado warning was, at least in that area of the state of Oklahoma, and pretty much the only one, at least in the state of Oklahoma, there. And again, you've got several severe thunderstorm warnings kind of dotting here. And again, a lot of that would be for some hail or some damaging winds throughout. But what I want to do is turn our attention more up to the north here into Kansas, and then actually popping up into Missouri, just a little southeast of Kansas City. And so let's kind of look there a little bit. This is a couple tornado warnings issued here. It looks like this one is just issued not too long ago. This one is more of an older one that's going to be expiring in 13 minutes. This one is for the counties of basically southeastern Cass and eastern Bates counties. All right, this is basically issued at 8:33 Central Time. At 8:32 p.m. Or Central Time, a severe squall line capable of producing both tornadoes and extension straight line wind damage was located along a line extending from near Adrian to 9 miles northeast of Butler. So this is radar indicated rotation, if you would. And again, nothing spotted by any means, but that is definitely an indication. Let's take a look at the velocity scans here. And yeah, you can kind of see, particularly in this area and kind of a little bit along this area here, you can kind of see a few notches. But I'd say specifically this area, right? I'm going to get the pointer here. This area right here is definitely our focus line for there, because that indicates where that radar. You can see again those the reds and the greens right here. Kind of again, it kind of looks like they're coupling against each other. If you think about it, they're wrapping around. A lot of people say, "Oh, red and green." I see red and green. Right here, right here, right here. No, what we're talking about is more when they look like they're wrapped around and they're like together, and then they're just kind of spinning as we put the radar into motion. So let's kind of take a look at that actually really quickly, just to see that radar motion here. So our focus is right here, and yeah, it's a little bit disorganized, just a tiny bit, but at the same point, it kind of looked like it pushed really up, kind of straight northeast. And so again, kind of this area here is what we're really focusing on. That's why they got that tornado warning right here for this county here. And so let me go ahead and stop this here. We'll go back to reflectivity and again, kind of talk about the warning here, which expires in 26 minutes. This warning is for southeastern Cass counties or Cass County in west central Missouri, western Henry County in west central Missouri, and southwestern Johnson County in west central Missouri. So those are not this doesn't expire till 9:15 Central Time. So basically, again, about 8:35. Again, strong lines that could be both produced by tornadoes as well as straight line wind damage could be located around Creighton, about 7 miles southwest of Appleton as well. This was at 8:35. So it's been now it's at 8:50 now. So that's kind of the story there. They're already moved quite quickly. And again, this is till 9:15 Central Time. And again, you've got the kind of everything moving to the northeast. And again, looking at the velocities, you can see that we're more focused on this area here. So these counties here, cities like Urich or Creighton is right there, pretty much the bullseye zone here. And if we look a little bit farther north, I would expect towns like Blairstown or Chilloughby. And again, if I mispronounce these names, I do apologize on that. Not as familiar of this area as I probably should be. Never visited. Well, I take that back. I did visit Missouri once, but it wasn't really a visit. It was more of just going through. I actually had a weather gig out in Casper, Wyoming, about I'm trying to think, no, over 9 years, 9 years away. Wow, that's crazy to think about. It's been 9 years. since then. But I had a weather gig out there for a little bit, and I remember when I was coming home, I'd passed through Missouri. So I'm not super familiar with that, but I got a few people that actually live in Kansas City that I know of quite well. So luckily enough for them, this is all southeast of them, but at the same point, hoping that none of this is producing an actual tornado. And because I tell you what, like I said, the last 48 hours has been crazy. Especially in Nebraska and in Iowa. If you haven't seen, there's quite a lot of large tornadoes that pass through that area. And as we indicated through our post this morning, our thoughts and prayers are with those who had absolute devastating damage to their homes, their businesses, communities, anything. And if you know people who live there and they need help, and if you know if there are any relief efforts up there, do not hesitate to help people out, because the more help we give to people, the easier it will be to start to rebuild. Even though maybe some memories and whatnot have been lost, but at the same point, it's from my indication, I haven't read up on anything yet, and I'm not mistaken. I'm hoping that there have been no fatalities, but I haven't really read up on anything this afternoon and evening. So I'm hoping none of that is there. And if that's the case, then bravo to the meteorologists, not only here at America's Weather streaming channel, but also to the meteorologists across the area, alerting people about this. So that's something that's super important. And again, that's always a key indication for us as meteorologists. We always want to make sure that everyone is protected, everyone is safe. That's what we do. So anyways, enough on that. Just speaking for the heart here, folks. It's something that I try my best to do. Let's take a look down here to the other tornado warnings that I see that indicated. So let me go ahead and find some radars that are kind of closer, and we can get that. Maybe this radar here will give us a little bit more. Let me move this down a little bit. There we go. Yeah. We'll try this one. Nope. We'll go to the Wichita one. Maybe that'll probably give us our best bet. One of the things that a lot of you guys probably don't know, folks, is that there are what I would call dead zones or no man's lands for radar. Radar can only go so far. As even though we've got some of the best technology out there today, radar can only go so far, because the radar basically the radar signal goes up into the atmosphere. Okay, so it's pointed upwards instead of across. And so what happens is that the radar, as it goes farther out, you don't get as much of a reading, because it goes eventually through the atmosphere, so you can't see it. So that's one of the things that we have to play with as meteorologists, is that we get into these, what I call no man's lands area. And so sometimes it's really hard to see what's going on in these storms, especially when you get into no man's land. That's one of the biggest things I would love to do, is see what I would call, like, very similar to like internet, kind of extensions for your internet and wireless networks would be extensions to radar in some of the dead spaces. I would love to see the government fund that, because I think that would be more protection for everybody. But hey, that's just me. I'm sure that idea has been pushed quite a bit over the years. So anyways, let's talk a little bit about this tornado warning here. Tornado warning expires in 20 minutes. It's radar indicated once again for counties: southeastern Wilson County and southeastern Kansas, northwestern Labette County, and southwestern Neosho County in southeastern Kansas. This is once again not until 9:15 Central Time. Around 8:40 Central Time, a severe thunderstorm was capable of producing a tornado that was located near Cherryvale, moving northeast at around 35 mile an hour. So these storms are moving quite slow, a lot more slower than the storms that are up in the Missouri area. But hazards: tornado and golf ball size hail, which is indicated by here, about 1.75 inch in diameter hail. So quite a lot more hailing going on here. Let's take a look at kind of that particular area there. Let's do let's see, where's that at? Vertically integrated liquid. Yeah, so you can tell in these areas here, there's definitely some chances of hail, in particularly in here. You can kind of see the white areas here. That sort of, in a sense, almost maxes out on our indication here, if you look at the color bar up at the top. So clearly these storms are what I would call hailers, where they have definitely a chance to produce some hail, but also in this vicinity area, a tornado. So let's check out the velocity readings here and see where we can find maybe perhaps some type of indication of rotation. And I know this is very, very, very hard to pick out because, again, this is kind of where radars sort of meet and are not really are clear here. Let's see if I can find maybe another radar to pick at here. Let's try this one, see if we can get some good velocity out of this one. Let's check that out. Oh, that's even worse. Let's check over here. Nah, I mean, you can kind of see it a little bit, but Wichita's one is probably the best out of all of them. So let's take a look into here. You can easily, again, see kind of where the rotation is to indicate the tornado warning here. So this is right here. And again, kind of giving you a little bit of indication of where that tornado could be. Again, this is radar indicated, not actually seen on the ground by any means. But let's take a look at the motion of this to see if we can pick out the kind of the scale. So here's kind of where it's at. You can kind of see it a little bit even on velocity. You can kind of see it kind of spinning just a little bit, that rotation. So this is where our focus is mainly. If we look at this, the rotation is going to be heading towards in between Thaler and Galesburg here in the next, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes. So kind of be prepared for that if you're in that vicinity. And if this rotation continues and they reissue a more tornado warning, I would see maybe Erie be another place that we would need to focus on. So that again, they're all radar indicated from what we can tell right now. Based upon that, these are where the tornado warnings are. And again, that's kind of where you would find that there. The rest of the areas, pretty much across the areas of the country, are pretty much, well, I take that back. I do apologize. I did not realize this, but new now, a tornado warning actually in Illinois. Illinois wasn't really too much looked at, although there was some indication that there could have been some severe weather tonight. It would be more marginal to maybe a slight risk for severe weather, but it looks like this area here under severe thunderstorm warning here in Illinois. So it's radar indicated, expires in about 30 minutes. That doesn't look like any hail's been indicated here. It looks like the tornado warning for southeastern Sangamon County in central Illinois. And again, if I flub these names up, I do apologize on that. This is until 9:30 p.m. Central Time. It looked like a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Mechanicsburg, or about 13 miles east of Springfield, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. So very, very slow movement of storms over here. But it looks like there's radar indicated tornado here. So or kind of a rotation. Let's take a look at the velocity scans on this one. Yep, easily can pick that one out. Let me pull out on this. Let's see what in the world happened here. Give me a moment here. Looks like all of the radar areas have completely faded out. Okay, let me refresh this and see if that works. There we go. Well, there we go. Taking a little bit of time here to process. But here we go. Easy pick out. You can easily see the rotation right here. This is kind of where that's indicated here. This is right in between Springfield and Decatur. Really close, crossing I-72 in between the two different cities here. And familiar with the Springfield area along with Decatur area, specifically Decatur. I remember quite a few years ago, I actually went storm chasing out in this vicinity area. We actually went all the way up north through central Illinois, and then we actually hiked back a little bit. And so I'm familiar with this area, but it looks like a tornado warning indicated for there. Let's put this in motion, see where that all rotation came out. There you go. It just basically popped out of nowhere. If you follow the storm up, you can see it started rotating, and there we go. So it's a lot more organized in this area here. So I'm assuming the tornado warning just popped up within, I'd say, the last 15, 20 minutes, and it's going to continue on up north. Again, it's going to cross I-72 here in just a few short, I'd say, minutes or so. but there's a kind of a complex set of storms here in Illinois that's moving north-northeast here right now. Actually, yeah, north-northeast at about 30 to 35 mile an hour there. So very, very, very slightly unexpected. But again, the Storm Prediction Center was predicting a little bit of severe weather for Illinois tonight, but not that much. And speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and first off kind of switch over to kind of the indications here. Give me just a moment here. Some indications on the Storm Prediction Center. So I want to real quick share with you guys. Let me flip to this real quick. Okay, give me a second here. I got an idea. There we go. That's much better. Oh. Yeah, I'll just go to here. It'll be fine. All right. Let's check this out here. Just give me a moment here. And get back over here. All right. Let's share with you this right here. Okay. So this is the storm outlook for today. And actually, from what it looks like, the Storm Prediction Center actually just had Illinois under a marginal risk for severe weather. That's level 1 out of 5 levels. And so really, this is a little bit more unexpected. I mean, yeah, marginal risk for severe weather is possible. You can get tornadoes, but very rare does this happen. So this is something that definitely looked like the atmosphere changed a lot compared to what we were predicting. And so that definitely some interesting storm development in Illinois, because again, the tornado predictions way far away from at least central Illinois. Northern Illinois looks like they may have 2%, but central Illinois, not so much. So again, slightly unexpected. Obviously, Oklahoma and Kansas and Nebraska were also, but definitely were, sorry, not Nebraska, but Missouri were areas of definitely concern today, especially in Oklahoma and parts of Texas and Kansas, especially Oklahoma. So that's kind of, again, the severe Storm Prediction Center really did a good job of predicting that. But again, very unexpected storm results coming out of Illinois tonight. So very, very interesting stuff that we always talk about there. So I figured I'd just go ahead and kind of share that with you guys for you guys to kind of look at that for just a brief moment there. So let's kind of head back to the radar here. Just kind of show you guys that. All right, here we go. So there is the radar here. And again, a few tornado warnings. Again, just kind of recapping here. Tornado warning indicated here in Illinois. Expires in 26 minutes. Kind of putting on the, again, the motion here. You can kind of easily tell on where that's at, where the tornado is indicated. And it's very interesting because it doesn't really have the normal signature that you would think. This is a complex of storms that are pushing up north, northeast. So a lot of times we don't expect that. And so that's kind of what we indicate here. Now I'm going to real quick take a look. I want to take a look at something real quick because I am betting that where all those storms are forming is a warm front. And I just want to take a look to see what the surface map is saying here. Oh, no, it's just basically definitely some flow where these storms are hidden from. So yeah, this looks like it's just some airflow ahead of the cold front. That's basically where the line of storms are in Missouri and Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas. All those areas are along the cold front that's out west, and again, it's been kind of moving rather slowly, although picking up steam today. But this area of rain is along basically the very way ahead of the cold front, but most likely probably due to convective, what I would call convective situations. It was really hot and warm out today. in the Illinois, Indiana areas, and a lot of the airflow, if you notice. And I'll go ahead and actually share this with you guys. I think this would be great information to share with you guys real quick to do this. Now I'm borrowing this off the Weather Channel, so so all rights do go to the Weather Channel for this map. But I figured I'd go ahead and share this with you guys because I think it's a good it explains a really good amount of information here. So real quickly, let me show you this. So here you go. So here's the surface map. We call it the current surface map. Surface map shows us where rain is, where different precipitation is, where the cold fronts, warm fronts are, things like that. And so it also shows us where the pressure lines are, which indicates also where airflow is coming from. So in case if you're wondering, especially here in Indiana, Illinois, and even areas in Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, all this air is actually coming from the Gulf of Mexico. This warm air and moist air is coming from the Gulf of Mexico. Like today here in Indiana, because I live in Indiana, there was a lot more moisture in the air. We had a few actually rain showers come through here, but we just didn't have the right ingredients to keep them going here. But as you can tell by the lines, a lot of the air is actually coming from the Gulf of Mexico and up all the way through. That's one of the air masses that we talk about. It's really the maritime tropical air coming from the Gulf of Mexico and kind of the Atlantic areas, and it's providing us with all that warm air. And that's really what's been going on. Is all that air has been swooping upwards through the southeastern, through the south and up into the Midwest, as well as the Great Plains. And this is basically where we're getting all of that fuel for these storms that have been going on the last 2 days. And so it's not expected to see these sort of pop up. And really, I would call this more of a convective type of storms that you would see here in Illinois. And so that's kind of what we've been seeing here today. And so that's kind of been what's going on. So again, so here's kind of where we're at right now. Again, kind of look at the velocity here. Looks like that rotation, although it's still kind of there, it's a lot more broad. So I do expect this tornado warning to sort of expire here soon. So most likely it just didn't have enough oomph, as I would call it, to kind of stay together. So let's kind of take a look to see what that looks like in motion. So you can kind of see that rotation, and now it's kind of slowly but surely kind of weakening a little bit. We'll have to kind of monitor to see if there's any reorganization, but you can still see it on the radar, just not as much. It's just right around this area here, and you just don't really see too much in the way of it again being as organized as it once was. So again, this is more. It's not so much of it's its own little storm. It's a cluster of storms, and so what happens, a lot of energy actually goes away from the storms and or into that storm and indicates that. As you can see, the tornado warning is kind of slimming down slowly but surely. So we'll have to keep a monitor on that as we go through, the rest of the evening here. Let's take a look at here again, right just a little bit southeast of Kansas City. We've got now again a tornado warning still indicated in the last 5 minutes. Well, it looks like this tornado has now been observed. So that indicates that there has been a tornado at least sighted, possibly even on the ground here in Kansas or here in Missouri. I apologize on that. And so yes, this is definitely been sighted, a spotted tornado. So weather spotters confirmed tornado. Spotters reported a tornado 3 miles north of Montrose, sorry, at 8:48 p.m. Central Time. Flying debris will be dangerous to be caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged as well, tree damage as well. So if you're in the path of this area, this is where you need to seek shelter immediately. Let's take a look at where that tornado may perhaps be. Let's take a look and see for that. Give me a second here. Let's put this in motion. Take a look at where that's at. We were looking this area here. It does look like it's weakening ever so slightly, but there was a tornado that was spotted with this. You can even tell with this line as well that it has bowed out a little bit, and there does look like a decent amount of winds are coming out of this area. So that's another thing that we have to look out for. So it does look like the tornado area has, at least in the way of rotation, has weakened. ever so slightly, or has definitely weakened, but still a good indication to keep watch out for that. So again, Chiloe, it's right above you, so hopefully you've taken shelter at this point. Again, this rotation has died down quite a bit, but you can still see some flow in and out. So this definitely, it definitely looks like they've extended the tornado warning out a little bit here. A lot of that would probably be dealing with more with the winds that are here indicated, but that's something that we need to look at there. So again, the tornado warning expires in 3 minutes. Did say that they did find a tornado in Montrose, so let's kind of take a look at where that was at, just to be on the safe side. So actually, the tornado looked like it's actually spotted more on the south side. So I apologize. There was a little bit of rotation here, so I guarantee you there was. That's why they had the tornado warning there. But they also extended it down here because along that straight line winds, you can have still those couplets where you can get tornadoes there. And so I can understand where they had this coming from as well. So you can kind of see that a little bit here with Monterose, just a little bit. It kind of spun up a little bit, and then now it's kind of come up this way. So they're going to extend it a little bit more into this area here. Again, and I have a feeling it's because of these more of the winds here, because there were some notches that were flying out of this. Let's take a look at the reflectivity here and find out. So again, notches are into good indications of where rotation is. And so that's kind of where that was at there. So that's why they extended that tornado warning out there, is because it has a history of producing tornadoes and a confirmed tornado. So again, seek shelter if you're in these areas. Extensions again, Clinton, it's just about ready to hit you, or it's hitting you now. Calhoun, Windsor is another area that needs to watch out for it. Green Ridge eventually is part of that tornado warning there as well. Bowen, Newcastle, Sutherland. If you're in this area, please make sure you seek shelter immediately. Make sure you have your weather radars ready to go, and so that way you can keep tabs on things. So those kind of the tornado warnings there. Let's kind of head back down this way. Looks like we've got still these tornado warnings are in effect in this area here. Let's take a peep at those. Let's find some radar site here so we can look at that. Give me a moment here so I can zoom out. Where's the radar sites? There we go. So again, the Wichita area radar, I can indicate there. Let's see if this does anything better. Sort of, kind of again on that edge of no man's land. Let's take a look at the velocity scans here. Let's look at this one here. Let's see if we can see a little bit more eyeball. So it's really tough to get into the realm. Let's see if that'll extend. I guarantee that won't extend. No, not at all. So let me see if this one extends all the way up there. And it doesn't really look at that as such. So let's just go over to here. You can kind of barely see it. But this is what they're indicating is the rotation here. Again, it's barely noticeable because we're right on the edge of that. Again, this is no man's land, unfortunately. So it's a little bit better here. So you can easily see the red and the green kind of together here, the rotation. Literally just a little west of Erie. This is moving northeast at around essentially I would assume probably 35, 40 mile an hour winds here at 30 mile an hour. It looks like a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This is radar indicated. No confirmation of a tornado whatsoever in that area as well on going in that direction there. So that's kind of what's been going on there in that area. Again, if you're in the line of this, so Erie, Walnuts, another area, Stark, in those areas, make sure you seek shelter immediately, as there is a radar indicated tornado kind of in that area. So let's kind of zoom out here and let's take a look. Looks like we've got a couple warnings right back down in Oklahoma. Again, they've been really hit hard tonight, and it only just continues. So we do have, looks like, a tornado warning indicated for the counties. It's observed tornado. Looks like it remains in effect for east central Grady and west central McLean counties. A confirmed tornado was located near Dibble, moving north at 35 mile an hour. Damaging tornado and golf ball size hail have been indicated here. Radar confirmed tornado, again, has been happening here. Really, really close to, well, it's actually heading towards the Norman, Oklahoma area, which is where the National Weather Service is actually housed at, as well as the Storm Prediction Center. Pretty much the heart of the National Weather Service is right in Norman, and it's crazy. But Norman, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City has been hit quite a few times over the years, and so it's. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense why the National Weather Service is in that area. But let's take a look at the velocity scans here. Oh yeah, definitely an area of cause for concern. You can easily see where that rotation was. It looks like it kind of got sucked up a little bit. You can see kind of where that was right here, and then it just kind of closed up a little bit. It could reform. That's why they got the tornado warning still in effect. But it looked like kind of sucked up a little bit of that rotation, but there seems to be a lot of winds indicated here as well. And so that's something to be alarming about as well, because it looks like the winds are also going to pick up. So there was an observed tornado. It could easily be in this. Yep. So they did reissue the tornado warning. And well, this is interesting. And again, as I said, it was Norman, Oklahoma, but also Moore, Oklahoma. And I'm sure if you're a weather person, you know of what Moore, Oklahoma is. They have been hit multiple times over the years with tornadoes, and it's crazy to think that there's another tornado warning for that area. So basically, observed tornado. This radar indicated rotation right now, not really observed as of right now, but that could easily change based upon where that rotation is going. And so again, this is the more area of concern here as we're going through, so kind of just basically labeling it as right here. It's again going to be moving into Norman, Oklahoma. Moore, Oklahoma is also in kind of this area here. So crazy night going on in close to Oklahoma City. If you are in Oklahoma City, please get ready. If this continues to stay organized, it will eventually hit into your area and get into your area as well. Let's also take a look at a tornado warning here for right down in Chickasaw Nation area. 41 minutes. The radar indicated tornado. Let's take a look. Our radar indicated rotation, not a confirmed tornado by any means. Let's take a look, see if we can find another radar site here. Give me a moment here as I kind of take a look here where I can find a radar site here. So it's a little bit better here. Let's go ahead and look at the velocities here. Yeah, so you can easily see right here of where, let's go ahead and do this radar. This is probably a little bit better. Radar, I would imagine that the rotation, I can easily point out that the rotation is right in this area here. And so it's most likely moving north-northeast in this direction here. And so that's kind of why the tornado warning's there. Again, it's radar indicated, no confirmed tornado. But if you're in the areas of Tatum's, let's see what other areas here. Hennepin, Alpers, Hoover, Katy, Sauter White, Brady, Elmore City. These are all this. You're all in this tornado warning, and that storm is heading your way. So make sure you seek shelter and be prepared. Again, have those weather radios ready to go for any indication of an actual tornado touching down. So those are kind of at least the main warnings. Again, kind of dotting across the country. Again, it looks like a tornado warning is still in effect for that storm there in Illinois. Let's take a look at the velocity scans there. Again, very I would call it very well, a little bit of rotation maybe here, but it's very disorganized. It's not, well, I guess it's organized enough for the National Weather Service to pull another. I swear we're on live right now, and these tornado warnings keep popping right back up. It did look like the rotation did intensify. It looks a little bit on the brighter side here. So it does make sense of why they did decide to pull the trigger on the tornado warning here. It is radar indicated. They haven't expressed anybody has spotted any. So that's kind of where that's at there. So tornado warning in effect here in Illinois for the counties of southeastern Logan County, DeWitt County, and Macon County. And again, this is until 9:45 Central Time. So again, it's radar indicated. But nonetheless, it's always good to take cover. So if you are in the vicinity areas of Latham, let's see where else here: Latham, Chestnut, Rawell, Kinney. You're all under the gun for this tornado warning. So make sure that you seek shelter immediately. And as I've been saying, make sure you have your weather radios, or at least make sure that your phone is charged. And as we take a look at these scans now coming in, definite rotation right here. By far, definite rotation there that's been indicated by the radar. Let's take a look at the motion here. Absolutely reorganizing now. You can see it's a little bit brighter, it's a little bit more defined. And so this is the areas where you're going to see that rotation there. So that's kind of what's been going on there across the country. Let me go ahead and kind of take a look here and anything else. Again, some tornado warnings dotting across. And there's several severe thunderstorm warnings. Actually, quite a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and even some flash flood warnings just due to heavy rain. But unfortunately, I can't get to all of those. We always need to make sure that we're hitting them. But just do understand with severe thunderstorm warnings, especially with this line here in Missouri, that you want to make sure that you're seeking shelter nonetheless, because a lot of these are straight line winds, and definitely indicates that there's it's a lot stronger there. So that's kind of what's been going on around the country here, folks. So what I want to do now is, unfortunately, due to, I'm on my laptop currently, and I need to get this plugged in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to real quick kind of take some video. I'm going to play just a little bit of music here, and I apologize for just kind of ending just a smidgen. Not ending the stream yet. I just need to real quick get my charger for this. I'll be just right back, but just kind of sit back and relax really quickly to some um, just some little bit of jazz music once I can get this up and running. So it's like always the indication of asking the question, do you like jazz? And then that's kind of how that all works. So I will be right back here shortly, just very brief, but I will be right back. Okay, so I did realize that there was no jazz music playing at that point. So I do apologize on that for not having that there. That's one thing that I'm still trying to work through just a little bit for that, but eventually I'll get that as well. Let's just real quick kind of get a little bit more into this, just a few more times around here, kind of around the bend before I kind of have to get going here fully. So let's kind of recap a little bit, particularly with the one that has been observed on the ground, or at least observed previously. Let's kind of, that was radar indicated. I think it was in Oklahoma that it was observed. So let's kind of take a look at that real quickly. It's going to take a moment to load up all of this info. At least it should load up. There we go. There we go. So let's take a look at this one. This is the one that has been observed. So this, in fact, just like last time, was observed down here. Let's take a look at this. Tornado warning has, there we go. Okay, so this is actually just a little bit out to the west of Norman, Oklahoma. This is radar. This is an observed tornado that's actually on the ground currently. The rate of rotation is here. So if first off, it's about ready to go past the University of Oklahoma, known for breeding and coming out with a bunch of meteorologists. This is just due west, quite literally from the university itself. Let's kind of take a look at the motion here. But easily rotation. Looks like there's some observation. Looks like that is indicated there. Let me see if I can pull up any type of reports on the cyclone reports. Looks like we've got somebody here. Looks like Aaron Jack. He's actually parked right now. Just figured I'd show you guys this. Um, Looks like Aaron Jack. He's just kind of parked there. But you can easily tell there's a ton of rainfall and the winds are pretty crazy going on right now. So it's crazy. So the rotation already passed over Aaron. J Jack, as his name is. So crazy stuff going on here. And then some observations here. We can take a look at a cam here in Norman, Oklahoma. You can easily see the winds are really picking up. Lots of lightning going on right now. It's absolutely crazy seeing exactly what's going on there. But the rotation is there. Observed tornado is has been happening. Let's see where it was observed at. Confirmed tornado was located 4 miles west of Goldsby and moving northeast at 30 mile an hour. So Goldsby, so was what was it? What did it say there? Northeast or west of Goldsby. So right around here, moving northwest. So that, yeah, like I said, in the radar indicated area. Oh yeah, definitely. Right over here is where you've got your rotation right here, folks. Right, really close to the Oklahoma University Airport. This is literally dead center right there. You can easily see that. In fact, I would assume there might be some debris on the ground there. Let me take a look at that and see, put that in motion here. Maybe some debris that's kind of pushed out in the area. Perhaps maybe hard to tell if there's any indication of that. Let me see if I can find hydrometer classification. No, not really good to show that there either. But there could be some good indication of something going on. Yeah, there might be something right here where there might be some debris right really close to the University of Oklahoma Airport. So there could be some things going on there that's really kind of intensifying things. So clearly there is a tornado on the ground observed and right there, really close to normal. Yeah, so unfortunately, it looks like it's just right. The tornado would be located right here, moving east. So basically, we're getting into the vicinity of Moore, Oklahoma. If any indication is going to move northeast, so it will be in the area of Clothier, Oklahoma. Looks like Oklahoma City down south there, or just a little bit of south Oklahoma City. Let's see, Moore's just a little bit actually north of here. I apologize on that. So it looks like it's going to miss Moore, but it definitely looks like that there's some really good rotation just really right by here. So if any indication is moving north northeast, let's kind of put this in motion again. Check out to see which way it's moving here fully. Kind of in this north northeast direction. So again, if you're living anywhere on Southeast 34th Street, Clothier, let's see, 104th Street, anywhere on that vicinity area in Oklahoma, and then of course Tinker Air Force Base. If it continues moving north, just basically moving just a little southeast. Eventually, it will get to southeastern parts of Oklahoma City. Seek shelter immediately. This is a truly indicated observed tornado on the ground currently right now. Let me check out to see if there's anything else that's indicated here. Let's see, not high rise velocity here. Let's see if we can get some spotter networks on here in the last couple of minutes here. Doesn't really look like any spotters are in the vicinity area here. -1, but it looks like that's kind of been in that area there. So clearly some dangerous tornado has been observed, and again indicated on the radar. You can easily see the rotation there in this vicinity area here. So quite quite an active night here in Oklahoma. In particularly right here, really close to Oklahoma City, and again, kind of in the indication of where, basically in the heart of the National Weather Service, if you would. Looks like the scans have already come in. Looks like it's kind of the sort of what I would call maybe a little bit of that rotation, maybe if we can just a little bit and sucked in. Nonetheless, it's still good to be alert in this area here as it continues moving north, northeast. So it's something to continue to keep a lookout for. It does look like that the rotation is not as close by, but nonetheless, it's still something to continue to observe as we continue moving forward in there. But it doesn't look like any other storm spotters are in the area as of right now. So I'll go ahead and kind of shut off the spotter network for right now. There is obviously a tornado warning down here. Again, radar indicated tornado expires in 25 minutes in kind of the Chickasaw Nation area. So I'm trying to think here if there's anything else here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with you guys until kind of kind of when this tornado warning ends. We're going to observe to see if there's any indication that there is a tornado, and we'll kind of it sticks with it here. If it becomes severe thunderstorm warning, then we'll kind of go. But if we continue to use the tornado warning and whatnot, then we'll continue there. Let's take a look at other places across the country. Again, that tornado warning still in effect in Illinois, just a little bit northwest of Decatur. It does look like the structure is a little bit. Give me a moment here. Sometimes this likes to be buggy, so it doesn't like to load up everything. All right, so basically it does look like there's a little bit more indication of a hook, just a slight indication. But again, the rotation looks like it's faded away compared to what it was when we last observed the Illinois tornado warning. So that's good news. That means that the rotation has broadened, and hopefully the tornado warning will expire here shortly. Let's see. The one that's close to Kansas are a little bit farther away from Kansas City now. Again, it's more what I would call straight line winds. This is more radar indicated again. Let's take a look at the velocity scans on that. Again, it's more straight line winds here, and I guarantee it's just going to be more straight line wind damage there. Not really any indication of any rotation in that area, but they had a warning on there for a purpose. So let's take a look at these guys here. Almost out of reach to get good velocities, but you can see velocity scan here. You can see the rotation here. Yep, they reissued it, so another tornado warning has been indicated here. Looks like it's been observed tornado now, which does make sense with the rotation. It looks like it has been observed, and it'll expire in 53 minutes. Tornado warning for southeastern Wilson County and southeastern Kansas, and western Neosho County in southeastern Kansas. This is until 10:30 p.m. Central Time tonight. So make sure that you take shelter immediately. There's an observed tornado that was located near Altona, or 6 miles north of Neodusha, moving northeast at 30 mile an hour. So again, this rotation here again is really tough to. I mean, you can see it, not always the best with the radar, but you can see the rotation here and where it's indicated, and that's again cause of concern if you're in the vicinity area. Let me go ahead and kind of zoom in here and get out of these potential areas. So if you're in the vicinity areas of, let me zoom in here, close by here. Earlton would be one area you need to look out to, as well as Earlton. If you're in the area of Earlton, make sure you seek shelter immediately. I definitely could see this continuing on if there's another tornado, and if the tornado continues to stay on the ground. Erie is also another area where you got your tornado warning yet here. Looks like that's indicated right in this area. Again, it's really tough to discern from that, but that's moving this way. Walnut will be another area to watch out for. So clearly a lot of tornado warnings tonight that actually have been cited and observed across the country. And this is, of course, a huge, again, cause of concern, again, for all of us as it continues to throughout the night. It's just something that's really causing concern. But definitely the storms have definitely moved quite quickly here. Let me check out the velocities here. We're going back to this warning here that's kind of been toward the more Oklahoma. Here's rotation. Looks like it kind of spun up a little bit more with rotation here. Continuing with this rotation here, and right in this vicinity here, which it went through this way here. So again, I would expect a tornado warning to be issued in parts of this area here coming up within the next few minutes, because it's still a pretty good spin here, from what I can tell, based upon kind of the movement here on that. So yeah, it definitely looks like the rotation might be kind of trying to regroup a little bit here. And this did cause a history of producing a tornado, as it was observed just a little bit west of Norman, Oklahoma. And so that's something that we need to continue keeping watch over as that goes through. And then a tornado warning down here. Again, the Chickasaw Nation. Looks like it looks like the radar rotation. Let me see if I can find a good radar. Come on, there we go. Well, I don't think there's one that's really good that's close by. So again, you can kind of see the rotation, not really that great, but it's there. So that's kind of what's been going on around the country. That looks like that tornado warning in Illinois has expired, which makes sense because the rotation really isn't there. So that's what's really going on. A lot of observed tornadoes tonight. Again, radar indicated. Looks like the default rotation looks like it's popped up a little bit up here. Wouldn't be surprised if we would see a tornado warning for this area here. Looks like it's severe thunderstorm warning at this point, but we'll keep an eye out for that. So that's pretty much about what's been going on around the country. So what we will again, talked about that there. So that's been kind of what's been going on around the country. Um, just wanted to real quick kind of give you guys some updates on this. And hopefully, guys, you kind of got some good information. Again, if you're in these areas that are under tornado warnings, please seek shelter immediately. This is super, super important that you do that to protect yourselves. Make sure you have weather radios. Make sure you have food, water, ready to go. Because again, if you notice the devastation in Nebraska and Iowa yesterday, okay, you need those things in case if something bad would happen. Again, always have a plan in place. Always make sure that if you live in a mobile home, make sure that you again get out and seek other means of shelter. Just do what you can to protect yourselves, folks. This is always important. And like I said, with these observed tornadoes, it's something that always worries me because a lot of people don't realize, and especially at night, that's the killers is the night tornadoes. People are sleeping. A lot of people just don't. They don't think that it's going to happen at night, but it does. Um, I what was it? It was last year. We had technically where I live, we had two instances of tornadoes. One was at night, right around 11:30 at night here in Indiana, and it was one of the most scariest moments that I have to say of me, dealing with tornadoes. I've chased tornadoes before. I've caught them on camera. I've done all that stuff, but when it comes to having a family, having a home, it really makes you think a little bit differently when it involves you and you have to take cover. And it's definitely something that for me I'm always concerned about and always making sure that everything's safe. And so it hits you a little bit different when it's close by. I've dealt with quite a few tornadoes over the years that I've studied meteorology and even I think it was just a quarter mile away. A tornado actually went through right before where my parents live, and I was still living with them. And it was unexpected one day. It was I think August of 2016, and it did some damage to some of the homes really close to the town that we live close by. So, or at least my parents do. And so it can happen anywhere, folks. So please make sure that if you're in these vicinities, please take shelter immediately. Please make sure that you're safe. Please make sure that you, um, are safe. That is the main concern of why we do this, folks. Why we're on here, maybe hour, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. We're doing this because we want to make sure that you guys are safe. That is our goal. And so I hope you all understand this and, continue staying tuned for America's Weather streaming channel. We'll continue to keep you updated on many other things, weather related that go on, throughout the time here. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to end this stream, here shortly. So I do apologize on that. Otherwise, I would be on here for hours on end. But if you give me just a second here. But if you got again, just continue to stay tuned to the National Weather Service. Continue to have updates being sent to your phone. And again, if you're in these areas, and I'll go ahead and expand the radar one more time and kind of show everyone kind of the expansion of everything together here. And by the way, the darkness over here indicates that it's night, which is kind of a cool feature here on Radar Omega, which I think is just excellent. So you can see the extensiveness, again, centering around Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. And again, probably the hardest hit I could say is Oklahoma tonight. And like I said, it looked like that tornado warning would have been extended, and I was right, to the southeastern portion of Oklahoma City. So if you're in that vicinity, please seek shelter immediately, as this storm had produced a tornado that was observed there. So again, don't be fooling yourself. Make sure that you do seek shelter. Looks like several other tornado warnings as well across Oklahoma and then Kansas and whatnot. But just giving you guys the big picture on this. A little bit too far here, but you can kind of see a little bit of what's been going on. And again, here's kind of the radar in motion here. Okay. So, anyways, I'm going to end this stream here very shortly. So I again, I do apologize. I'd be on here for a little bit more hours. Unfortunately, I can't be. But again, if you're in these areas, please take shelter immediately. I do appreciate all of you guys, whoever's been viewing, to continue to view for us. Please, continue to follow us here on America's Weather streaming channel. We are here as much as we can be to help you guys out. And whatever questions you have, comments, put them down in that area. We're more than happy to answer questions. And again, if you're in these areas, please take shelter immediately. Okay. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay safe out there. Again, continue to stay with us at America's Weather streaming channel. We are here to report on any type of weather, and we're here for you always. You guys have a good evening. Take care.